So let's talk about anonymous types, just kind of like the anonymous methods, if you're familiar with those at all. The anonymous types are types that are anonymous. They don't have a name. Okay, much like if you want to report a crime or report your neighbor down the street doing parking their truck on the road that you don't like, or whatever. You want to remain anonymous. All right, so that's the whole deal with an anonymous type. And these anonymous types, they don't do anything except store data. All right, that you can't actually put functions in them. You can't do anything else except store data. So let's just do a simple example. I'm going to say var I don't know, instance maybe gets new, and then notice I'm not going to put a class name. Usually we're used to putting in class names here in constructors, but instead I'm just going to say new curly, and let's just say first name. And I'm just making this up. It doesn't have to. I mean, it could be Ghibli for all you want. I don't care. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to say Jamie, last name. I'm going to say King, and I can go all day long. I can say age is, let's say I'm 12. I'm not going to tell you my real age. Not that I'm ashamed of it, but I don't want to date my video. So notice I have an int here, have a string, and let's do GPA. A GPA 4.0. I gotta be perfect, right? Or we can at least pretend I'm perfect. And of course, Visual Studio wants to format that, so it takes up a lot of vertical space, which is fine. Okay, so notice, first of all, since I can't put a class name here, I'm forced to put var out here. All right, the compiler, the name of this class is only known to the compiler, and so I have to rely on the compiler to insert that name here. In fact, if I hover over instance IntelliSense, come on, IntelliSense. IntelliSense is giving me nothing. Instance, look at this, instance, local variable, tilde A, I guess A means anonymous, instance, anonymous type. A is a string first name, string last name, age, and then a double. So first thing I want you to understand is that this is still type safe, even though I'm not defining a type on any of these properties. The compiler still infers the type by what I'm assigning to them. And they don't have to be constants. I could have expressions. I could take like I times 2 or whatever. Anyway, let's say I'm going to CW instance. I hit CW tab there to get that to come up. Instance dot, let's print the last name. And Control L, Control VV. Let's do first name. And then, I kind of like that 4.0 thing. So let's print the GPA as well. Control F5, run it, and there you go. King Jamie 4. Alright, well, just like all pixie dust magic, the compiler, these anonymous types don't work natively to the CLR. The C# compiler is actually doing some stuff for us to translate it into something that'll work on the CLR level, and it's pretty straightforward. The compiler makes a class with these property names and makes a constructor to take each one of the values. Right, so what I just said there is actually kind of important, because I can't turn around and say instance.lastName gets wallaby, if that's how you spell wallaby. Okay, these anonymous types, these instances of anonymous types, they're considered immutable, meaning once you've set their values, they can no longer change. And that's nice for threading. Immutability makes threading easy, and if you don't know anything about threading, go watch the threading videos. But basically, they're immutable. So let me show you how the compiler does that. The compiler is going to generate a class here. Let's just call it class. The name doesn't matter. The name's completely arbitrary. And then we're going to slam some properties in here. Public, string. Or actually, we'll just do what the compiler does. Copy. And, oops. Paste. And then, this one's a string. So I'm actually going to use a trick with Visual Studio. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and drag. You can do this like boxy select thing. I'm just going to do a vertical drag there and say public, and I'm going to type string, and then hit escape. Now, this isn't a string though. This is going to be an int, because the constant 1, 2 makes an int, and then this is a double because this constant infers to be a double in the C# language. Okay, so we got age. Oh, and then we need our get sets here, and the get sets are still sugary. They're automatic properties. Go watch the properties and automatic properties video if you wanna understand the difference. But I'm gonna just rely on the automatic version. But the compiler literally is just saying get set here. What's the problem? Oh, the problem is I deleted the field name. What field was here? It was GPA, huh? I'll just type it in. GPA get set. Let me just, if I set space there, and then I drag, I use the Alt key to drag a vertical box, and then I do get, and it's actually a private set because these things are immutable, right? So private set, semicolon, curly, and escape to get out of that mode. And then control, I hold down control, I hit K, then I hit D, and voila, it's formatted. And so all these sets need to be private because these anonymous types are immutable. And then we need to make a constructor. This is literally what the compiler does here. So CTOR, tab, tab, and let's see, string, first name. I'll type them out even though we could be a little cryptic and just put FN. Then we're going to say last name, and int age, or double, GPA, GPA. So first name gets first name. This is plumbing code, but notice there's no other functions in here. It's just all this anonymous type does is store data. It's actually rather boring, but useful. Useful. Plain old data object as they're known, I think, in Java. Last name gets last name. Okay. And age gets age. And aren't we glad the compiler does all this work for us? It's nice and convenient and makes us productive. Alright, so now if I want to desugarize this the way the compiler does it, what did I call that class again? Oh, it's Doifijt. Alright, we'll just grab that and a new pop and open it up, and then Jamie King 12 and 4.0. There we go. We did all the work the compiler does for us, and we're still immutable. I can say instance dot age. I can't say like 55 here. All right, it's still immutable. All right, but I can still read from it like this, so that's kind of nice. Let's run this. Show you that the result is the same. So from an initial point of view, that's all an anonymous type is. It's a class. The compiler takes care of the class name for you. It's immutable. It stores data. There's no functions in there, and you can't add them in the C# language. I think in the, well, I'm not even going to guess. Maybe in the Java language you can. I can't remember. I'm not a Java expert. But anyway, there are a few other things the compiler is going to do, but we're going to investigate that in the next video.